a spiderweb, a witch, the mysterious word Samhain. These are symbols we all know from Halloween. But their roots are much deeper, older than pumpkins on porches. Today, we'll look at them through needle and thread in the primitive cross-stitch design, Tiny Witch's Charm. I'm Natalie, and I create small, primitive cross-stitch patterns. This design is small, 65 stitches high and 51 wide, perfect for a pincushion or a cozy Halloween corner decoration. This pincushion has two sides, a witch with the word Samhain on one side, and on the other the playful word boo, stitched beside a web. When you hold it, you're not just holding fabric and thread. You're touching a story, a small charm from the old festival of Samhain. As you pick up needle and thread, imagine yourself participating in a living tradition, one that transforms simple fabric into a tangible link to the past and a celebration of heritage. Let's talk about the witch. In my design, she's small, only a handful of stitches high. But she carries weight. This is not the witch of fairy tales, not the cackling crone. This is the wise woman of Celtic memory. She gathered herbs, watched the moon, and carried generations of knowledge in her hands. Bent with age, yet unshaken, her eyes catch every flicker of change. The witch kerchief, simple dress, each thread is a sign of resilience. History has often feared such women, but in our stitches we reclaim her as a guardian, a teacher, a quiet force of protection. When you stitch this little witch, you bring her into your home not as a ghost of fear, but as a charm of memory and strength. Turn the pincushion, and you'll see the word boo. It's a game, a child's joke, a sudden laugh in the dark, and yet it carries power. Because boo transforms fear into fun, it's a charm of laughter. Every culture has its small spells. Sometimes it's a word, sometimes a gesture. Here, it's 3 letters stitched in thread. Simple? Yes. But in its simplicity, boo says, I see the shadow, but I am not afraid. Boo into this cross-stitch design shifts the mood, turning the shadows of October into spaces of laughter, community, and light-hearted tradition. And now, let's look at the spiderweb worked in fine backstitch, delicate but unbreakable. Why do webs fascinate us? Maybe it's because, like life, they're built strand by strand with patience and intention. In folklore, the spider is a symbol of fate, spinning the threads that hold our stories together. The technical terms here are motif, meaning a recurring symbol, and filigree, which describes the intricate, lace-like structure both in metalwork and in stitch. Let me tell you a story. Once, while stitching late into the night, I watched a real spider weave her web outside my window. Each line was purposeful, each crossing a tiny act of faith. Isn't that just like needlework? We build meaning, cross by cross, until a pattern emerges from the darkness. Now, you might ask, isn't a spiderweb just a Halloween cliché? But think about it, every web is unique, a record of time and place. Your stitched web holds your story, your patience, your hopes knotted into every intersection. So when you stitch that web, you're not only decorating a pincushion, you're honoring the invisible threads that connect us to memory, to fate, and to each other. This little design carries all that symbolism in simple, primitive stitches. It uses only 4 DMC floss colors, and when you download the chart, you'll receive both a black and white version with symbols and a colored version, so you can choose whichever is easier to follow. As a bonus, there's also a small scissor fob pattern, a tiny charm to complete the set. You can download the pincushion cross-stitch pattern today and start stitching right away. All the links are in the description below. Visit my Ko-fi shop, The Quiet Primitive, where you'll also find other patterns. And if you'd like, you can leave a small donation to help me buy threads and fabric for creating even more magical designs. With you was Natalie, by The Quiet Primitive. Stories and stitches, and a little magic in every cross. See you soon.